Vancouver International Wine Festival, Don Chubet, let's tell us a story here.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all about savoring Australia. Savor Australia here at the Vancouver International Wine Festival. And you know, a lot of people, Mark, think that Australia, it's only about the Shiraz.
Yeah, certainly that's been our signature variety, and there's a good reason for people thinking that, but that doesn't explain the full picture, and that's why I thought it'd be fun to have a look at some of these different styles of wine that exist in Australia.
Exactly. Too. First up, though, when do you know it's right to, drink the wine, to sip it, and when is it best to cellar it?
A lot of it's that deliciousness factor. If it tastes good, drink it right away.
Okay.
But there are some qualities of the wine, especially if you go back to our signature variety of Shiraz, where there's just more concentration of things like the berry fruits and the tannins and the acidity. They're great wines to lay down and put away for a few years.
Okay, so let's talk now about some of the other options that you have. You just poured a Pinot, which many people may not think of necessarily for Australia.
Oh, actually, I've just poured a Shiraz Vino. It's a blend.
Okay, it's a blend.
My apologies.
That's okay.
But what they've done here is they've actually mixed in a little bit of Viognier, which lightens it up, which is a perfect example of a Shiraz style that you would actually drink straight away rather than putting in the cellar.
Now, when I think of Riesling, which you have over here, I think of German Riesling, German wine.
Yep.
How is the Australian version different?
The beauty about Aussie Riesling, for the most part, bone dry. It's a totally different style. Flavors are a little bit different too, because you're going to get lemon and lime kind of character, more along the citrus lines, but dry, and that's a kind of a cool style.
When most people think Chardonnay, they think buttery, they think oaky, they think vanilla. How is Australian Chardonnay
That's
different?
old school Aussie Chard.
Okay.
This is new school, so it's much leaner, from a cooler climate, so it tends to be a bit more along the peach and sort of apple and citrus kind of qualities, and a lot less oak. Still part of it, but a little bit less.
And not to worry, they also have their own version of Bubbles. Jody and Riaz, the Vancouver International Wine Festival, on now through March 1st. It's all about Australia, and it's a great way to come and learn about some great wines of the region. Turn me loose with a bunch of wine, why not? We're celebrating and we're savoring Australia this year at the Vancouver International Wine Festival, and probably one of the most, famous wines would be a Shiraz from Australia. So a lot of people, though, don't really know, Sam, what's the difference between Shiraz and Syrah?
Well, firstly, they've got to understand that they're the same grape.
Okay.
Same grape. So it's actually the quintessential grape of the Rhone. So northern and southern Rhone in France, very famous. So the northern Rhone, it's much cooler, and it's these are wines that have got fantastic little bits of spice, bit of white pepper, bit of tannin, a little bit grippy, but generous wines. And then on the other side, on the southern Rhone, you've got wines that are a little bit more like the Australian style. So these have lovely fruit, a bit more roundness. And that's what Australia sort of piggybacked on. And then Australia's really done very well with Shiraz. We've had some old vine Shiraz for many years, and the style is intense and concentrated. So people just have to understand you've got two ends of the spectrum.
Right.
You've got spice, a bit of white pepper, versus a more sort of rounded, generous
And then
sort of
let's
style.
talk about, because we love Australian wines, we love our Australian Shirazes, but hey, we love our local wines as well. And the Okanagan does wine very well, but you do a Syrah.
We do a Syrah. It's the same grape again, but really in the Northern Rhone style, so savory, white pepper, really not more fruit forward. I think the one thing about the Okanagan Valley is we're 60 or 80 kilometers in length, so you get real terroir-driven wines from the north to the south that are quite. There's quite a variation from regions. So Black Sage Road is different than, say, Soyuz, which is different than Skaha Lake, where we are. So I always encourage people to do kind of a horizontal of the valley and not a vertical. Like really see what we're doing. They're very, very handmade, small production wineries.
Fantastic. Well, such an education. At the very end of it, you might as well try it. Come here to the Vancouver International Wine Festival, where you can try Shiraz, Syrah. You can try everything here. Again, runs until the 1st of March. We are hanging out here at the Vancouver International Wine Festival, where it's all about Savor Australia. First of all, welcome. Have you been to Vancouver before?
I haven't, but never enough.
Okay. And what about the wines? Do you like our local wines, Purdue?
I love the BC wines. They're delicious.
Awesome. Well, we know Australia does wine well, and let's talk maybe a little bit about the region itself. First of all, when we hear the term terroir, what does that actually mean?
Terroir applies to the climate, the soils, and all the physical characteristics of all the different grape regions in Australia that contribute to the flavour and style of the wine.
So tell us a little bit about Australia.
Well, all the wine regions are southerly, so they're cool and in the southern part of the country. My region, Coonawarra, and I'm from Wynn's Coonawarra Estate, is right down here in South Australia. So it's influenced by the Southern Ocean. So that contributes to the cool area and the lovely conditions that give us these great flavours.
So when we talk about the flavors and the characteristics and I guess the influence of the terroir, let's talk about what people may be tasting or smelling in their wines.
Yes, so here we have some berries and chocolate, some coffee, and these can be some of the descriptors that people find in their wines. So when we're walking around tasting and we think, oh gee, there's a little bit of chocolate combined with some coffee, and it really helps people familiarise the wines and become comfortable with them and decide whether they like them or not ultimately.
And so when people are doing, coming to the tasting room, for instance, they don't need to get overly complicated. We've all seen the documentaries where someone goes, oh, I smell fresh cut garden hose. Oh, I smell rubber tire. It doesn't need to be that complicated, but you do need to taste food. You need to lick a rock once in a while.
Well, yes,
eat some dirt to understand what that tastes like, right?
You do, and familiar terms are the best ones to use for yourself.
And the best way is to just drink, to just try. You can do that here at the Vancouver International Wine Festival, happening now through March 1st. Jody and Riaz, we've got lots more coming up here on Breakfast Television.
There's Dawn, speaking of delicious.
Speaking of delicious, you're of course talking about the wine, I'm sure. First things first, Harry, people are going to be able to have their opportunities to get home safe because they're going to have a lot of fun here at the Wine Festival, right?
Oh, it's a lot of fun, and there's a complimentary transit ticket at the end of the evening, so be sure to take that ticket home and don't wine and drive.
Exactly, but you have some great wines, and just for us, breakfast wine.
Oh, of course, it's Breakfast Television, and this is probably one of the best breakfast wines we have at the festival. Magella Sparkling Shiraz, fantastic with waffles, berries, and whipped cream.
Because Shiraz is the feature.
That's right. So I'm going to put this in my basket because I'm like a kid in the candy shop when it's wine festival time. And check out these blue dot tags, because that means it's an exclusive product only available at the wine festival. Another great Shiraz is this RSW from McLaren Vale. It's a fantastic wine, only available at the liquor store on site. So let's put that in my basket.
And
yes,
we're excited because we got some new.
Well, we have. One of the things about the wine festival is that the principal owner is at the festival here to sign a bottle.
That is awesome. We have Ivica and Ivan. Finally got it right. What do we need to know about Croatian wine? Because you're the only winery.
Yeah, we are the only winery, and we are really excited to have opportunity to be first winery which represent Croatia here in BC.
What are some of the characteristics of Croatian wine?
Croatian wine Croatian wine making scene is divided in four regions, four very different regions. Our region is Dalmatia, which is on the Adriatic coast, southern part of Croatia. The most characteristic varieties are Plavac and Pošip. We also have on northern Adriatic, Istria region, which has Teran and Malvazia as the most important varieties, and we have Croatian inlands and Croatian Danube, like two regions more with white wines, with Chardonnay, Graševina, and stuff like that.
Fantastic, and I've never tried Croatian wine, and I'm excited because you're going to sign a bottle, and you can also get your bottle signed by the winemakers here at the Vancouver International Wine Festival.
Your label.
It's his label, yes, there we go.
Fantastic.
Jody and Riaz, the Wine Festival on until March 1st.
Those are my people. Say dobro jutro. Dobro jutro.
Dobro jutro?
Jutro.
Dobro jutro, dobro jutro.
All I said was good morning.
Love the accent. That is your sweet nectar right there.
That's my sweet nectar. My mom was born on Dalmatian coast in Dubrovnik.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm totally going for that. I want one of those signed bottles.
That's what you learn when you go to the wine festival. Don did a great job for us.